Hello, everybody. This is our second seminar, or the high school seminar. So this is just a spin-off of the college interview slash seminar that we had in August, except this time we're just going to focus, instead on of the essays and stuff like that, we're going to focus more on activities that you can actually participate in high school, as well as, clubs, and any experiences that you can find in high school, and specifically the high schools that these interviewees are at. So if you're at one of their high schools, or if you're going into one of their high schools, make sure to be on the lookout and be on the lookout for those activities when you get into high school. So we'll just start off with, oh wait, I'll just get rid of the waiting room here. I guess I can't, okay. Yeah, we can just get started with an introduction from each of our interviewees.
Hi, I'm Amie, and then I'm a senior at Brookfield Central this year.
Hi, I'm Casie, and I'm a senior at Brookfield Central this year.
Hi, I'm Helena. I'm a junior at Homestead High School this year.
Hi, I'm Sophia, and I'm a junior at Homestead this year.
Hi, I'm Becky, and I'm a junior at Homestead this year.
I'm Jasmine, and I'm a junior at Brookfield.
All right, so we'll just schedule this seminar similar to the last one, where we'll have a lot of pre-ordered questions, and then later on, when we run out, or when it hits about the hour mark or the hour and 10 mark, we'll switch to an open Q&A. And of course, this meeting will be recorded and be posted on YouTube if anybody wants to watch it later or can't see it now. Okay, so starting with our first question, what extracurriculars did you participate in? And did you have any leadership positions or any notable experiences with that?
Okay, so I participated in varsity tennis, Spanish Honor Society, National Honor Society, DECA, Red Kettle Club, and then Environmental Club. And then I held 2 leadership positions on the Spanish Honor Society exec board and then the Red Kettle Club exec board.
I did DECA, Red Kettle Club, varsity tennis. Was a Lansing Command school that's leadership, a small leadership position on school. I was on the Wisconsin DECA Leadership Council as National Honor Society, and I was in memorable accomplishments, leadership positions, or I was on the board for Red Kettle Club as the public relations manager. And then for DECA, I went to ICDC and I was an international finalist. And for
so I did varsity swimming, HOSA, Latin club, and forensics, and I'm on the leadership team for HOSA, HOSA, Latin club, and forensics.
So I do tennis, I'm in debate, or I was in debate. I also do HOSA, UNICEF, Environmental Club, and Student Council, and I hold leadership positions in HOSA and UNICEF.
I played tennis. I'm in HOSA debate, and I did Model UN, but it's not running this year. And yeah.
Okay, I don't know if you can hear me because my Wi-Fi is kind of bad right now.
You're good.
Okay, so I do Link Crew, which I think is at every school, but I don't know. Leap and French Club. So I don't do a lot of extracurriculars, but yeah.
All right, so which extracurriculars, or specifically one extracurricular, did you find most valuable to you?
I would probably say like DECA because that kind of enforced my interest in business because I'm planning on majoring in a business related degree when I go to college. So like it really opened my eyes into like a career based option.
I would say Red Kettle Club because I gained a lot from being in the club and serving as a leadership position on the board. And I think it shows like how well-rounded of a person I am that like I care about the community too.
I would say that forensics has impacted me the most because of the fact that I got more confident in public speaking and stuff like that. And I think that public speaking is a very necessary tool in today's world. So I think forensics is a definite most valuable extracurricular I've joined.
For me, in general, I guess ones that I actually enjoyed and cared about, specifically HOSA and UNICEF, and I hold leadership positions in both, so I was able to learn and grow and be able to become like, I guess a better person in general. But I feel like there's no point in doing clubs that you don't like. You're not going to get much out of them, so I just like focus on the things that you actually like.
I like Helena. I think forensics really helped me because it really made my public speaking skills much better, and I felt more comfortable talking in front of a crowd of people.
Okay, I think link crew helps me the most because it improves my leadership and speaking skills. Because like you're guiding a group of underclassmen through like their high school experience, and sometimes eighth graders. You're just I don't know, like you're helping them and you're becoming like a leader to them.
All right, so what are some common ones that all high schoolers you think should participate in? Are there any school-specific ones, like based off of your high school?
I think for the most part, like service clubs and stuff are something that everyone should get involved in because like colleges do like to see that you aren't just like self-focused. And I'm pretty sure every school has like a service club, like maybe like Red Kettle Club, Key Club, and those are pretty easy to get involved in, and like they're as much of a commitment as.
Okay, sorry. Is it my turn? My screen like froze. Um, I think it's really important to like participate in sports in high school. Like personally, I did 2 sports, and I think the experiences I gained from each sport was very valuable because it helps develop your time management skills um through like having practices and games, and you really get close friends from it. And I think it's a really valuable experience that like even if you're not good at a sport, like I know that most schools have no cut teams, and I think it's a really fun and like crucial part of high school to do a sport.
I also agree with both Amie and Casie. To add on, I think you should definitely join like a public speaking club just to work on like speaking in front of a crowd because it is a very valuable life skill, as I've said before. But I also think like joining sports is also like a really good idea. Even if you don't play any sports, I feel like joining a sport can expand your like friend group per se, and you have more people that you can hang out with, and it's just a better experience for high school. And service clubs are also very nice because they show that you care about your community. So I think both all of them just, yeah.
Some common ones at my school include like DECA, forensics, student council is a big thing at my school. Also service clubs in general, such as Interact. It honestly depends on what's offered at your school. But I'd also agree that sports are like a really like good thing to get into. Even if you don't really play sports, there's probably some sports that you can probably like get into. You get to meet a lot of new people, and you can also have a lot of fun.
I think student council, especially for freshmen at Homestead, is a good way for freshmen to like get involved with school activities, since it helps them get to know like the teachers running it and other students running it too. And also there's a bunch of clubs at schools that people may start that cater to people's interests, and you can meet people like you who are interested in the same things. And maybe if there isn't a club that has something you're interested in, maybe you could start your own too.
Well, everyone's pretty much covered everything, but I think another like important factor to consider is like if you actually enjoy the club, because if you're doing like 80 clubs that don't interest you, there's no point. Like it's better to do like a couple that you actually participate in and have an interest in.
So the next question is, what AP classes or like honors classes did you take, and were they worth it to you, and what did you learn from them besides the content?
Okay, I took a lot of AP classes, maybe focused more on the math and sciences. So like AP Calc, BC Calc, AP Chem, AP Physics, AP Bio, AP Stats, and then I also took like micro, macro, AP Psych, and then AP Human Geography, and then I'm also gonna take like AP Gov next semester. And then I took mostly honors classes, and although it's like definitely like a bigger workload than a normal class, I think it is worth it because like the pace of normal class, like I have some normal classes right now and they're definitely a lot slower, and it's very like less, it's not as interesting as like an AP class. So these classes are more challenging. I think that they're worth it because you really do get like a better learning experience, and it does go more your speed.
I took AP Hug, AP Psych, AP Stats, AP Lang, AB Calc, BC Calc, AP Micro, AP Macro, AP Physics, and I'm taking AP Lit and AP Com Sci, and then next semester I'm gonna take AP Gov, APES, Calc 3, and yeah. I think AP classes are really good for like being surrounded by peers of your like same smartness, so that like they can influence you to be better and help you learn the concepts. I think it's just like sometimes when you're in normal classes, you're just surrounded by people who don't care about school at all, who think it's cool to like goof off and stuff. And being with AP classes, you're around people that have like the same mindset as you. So like you're all working hard together, which is really nice. And also I think AP classes really show you how like college might be like, because like they're a lot faster and it's a lot more work. I know in a lot of my AP classes we're like learning a lot of the material ourselves, so it really teaches you how to self-study, and I think it's just good to it helps you with your time management skills and study skills.
So I took AP Chinese, AP Human Geography, AP Micro, AP Environmental Science. I'm taking AP Calc BC, AP Physics, and AP Seminar this year. I think Amie and Casie covered a lot of it, but if I were to recommend an AP class for especially freshmen at Homestead, I would say AP Human Geography is a really good one because it's like the starting block for APs. It's the only AP offered at Homestead for freshmen, so I think it's a really good chance to see if you fit in to like AP classes and stuff like that. So I think AP Human Geography is a really good choice for freshmen.
So I took AP Hug, APES, AP Micro. Right now I'm taking AP Seminar, AP Chem, AP Physics, and AP Calc. Next year I plan on taking AP Bio and AP Research Science. I definitely think if you think you can handle APs, you should take them. Also, mostly because it's like the people in the classes will be at your level, or like the level that your smartness, I guess they said before. But I feel like they care more, and you can learn a lot. You can get a lot more out of these classes, and also you get to do more like cooler experience and activities. Definitely time management and goal setting are like definitely skills I got out of them.
So I took AP Psych and AP Chinese, and right now I'm taking AP Calc BC, AB, AP Chem, and AP Lang and Comp. And one class I really recommend to sophomores is AP Psych, since it's a good, it's an easy AP class, and all you really need to do is know the vocabulary and know how to apply it. And it's pretty fun too.
So I've taken AP Psych, AP Seminar, and right now I'm taking AP Research, AP Calc, AP Gov, A Push, and and then I'm planning on taking some more senior year. I think a good one that's helped me develop my like writing skills is AP Seminar. So that's offered for sophomores and juniors and seniors at my school. And then after that would be AP Research, which I think it's good to take AP classes because you you meet new people and they can help you, because a lot of it is like learning by yourself, but there's also like other people of your same smartness that can help you and will help you if you need help on a concept.
All right, so for the next question, it's about standardized tests. But I know with COVID, um, a lot of juniors haven't even had the opportunity to even take it yet. So I'm gonna slightly reword this. So if you did take any, you can like describe them. But like, what prep have you done so far for tests, or like, what prep are you anticipating to do?
Okay, I took the ACT twice. So I took it once in September of my junior year, and then another at the whole school state mandated ACT my junior year. And then I was planning on probably taking the SAT or the SAT subject tests this summer. But obviously with COVID and then every school becoming test optional, I decided to not like risk getting COVID when taking tests. So I decided not to do those. But before both of my ACTs, I didn't study that much, and I mostly just reviewed like English grammar rules because I'm a pretty good standardized test taker, so I really didn't prepare that much, but I still scored really high. So
yeah, I also took the ACT twice, and to study, like I was just like Google like the like top in like whatever subject area it was, like things to know or whatever, because like the ACT I feel like has tricks and stuff, and like there's like definitely things that like if you know them you can score a lot higher that aren't like really like knowledge based, but they're just like weird tricks and like stuff that the test writers do. Oh, I also took the PSAT. I know some people at my school don't take the PSAT because they think it's like not worth their time, or and like they won't get like national merit or whatever. But like I didn't study at all for the PSAT and I got national merit commended. So I feel like if you're thinking that like taking the PSAT isn't worth it to you, like you should definitely give it a shot. Like you don't know how it'll turn out, and it's like there's no reason not to.
Um, so I haven't taken either the ACT or the SAT, but I have taken the PSAT during the school mandated one. I think the key to standardized testing, if you're like kind of a bad standardized tester like me, I think the key is just to practice. Just practice, practice, practice. There's always like practice tests online. Khan Academy is a great tool. You can order books online and like practice those. There's also like tricks and stuff like that. But I think if you don't like know the material, I would say for like math and stuff, the best way is just to practice and like, yeah, that's about it.
So I haven't taken the SAT or ACT yet, but I plan to early next year. Prep-wise, just taking practice tests, especially the real ones, those will help you the most. I think just getting used to the format and knowing like the tricks and like how the ACT and SAT works will be most helpful to knowing. It's not really knowing the content or anything, and just like knowing how to take the test and what's going to be on it.
I haven't taken the ACT and SAT either, but I've already taken the PSAT and something. And to prepare for it, I practiced a lot. Like I took a bunch of practice tests and did a bunch of practice questions. And and it's really important for people to review their basic grammar, since a lot of people can forget that, and practice a lot of math too.
I haven't taken the ACT or SAT either, but since the school, like the state has it in March, I'm going to be taking that one. And then I might take it again afterwards, but I don't really know yet. But I did take the PSAT sophomore year, and then I was going to again this year, but COVID happened. So that's postponed, but I've been studying on Khan Academy, and then for the ACT there's practice ACT problems and tests on the website, which I've been doing also.
And so I know I'm supposed to be like the interviewer, but when I was doing the ACT, I actually used Reddit. So I thought this was like really, really useful. So I'm just gonna put it in the chat here. And if any of you guys want to check it out, you can. It's just like 77 tests from previous years. Basically, people somehow got them, and then you can just download them and print them or do whatever you want with them and just practice. So, all right, so with the next question, how did you balance your social, extracurricular, or how did you balance your social, extracurricular, and personal life?
I think it was a lot of prioritizing to be able to balance everything, like certain weekends or like weeks, like I wouldn't have that heavy of a schoolwork, so that way I could prioritize like my social life and like maybe go to football games and hang out with my friends. But like when exams would come by and I would have a heavy workload, like that would have to go to the back burner. I'd have to prioritize my schoolwork. So really is like you have to like manage your time wisely, and the fact that like you need to understand what comes first and make sacrifices in certain areas that aren't as important.
I think like planning is a good way to manage it all, like deciding like what you have to do and like what is most important. So like it's best if you like accomplish those things, and then like designating which things you think that like you would like to do but like you don't have to do like in that certain time frame is a good way to manage your time.
I think definitely like using like a planner during high school is very useful, and that way you can like track your homework and like your extracurriculars. Like if you have like a swim meet that day, you can write it down so then you can figure out how to get your homework done faster and stuff like that. I would say with like online school, it's harder to plan stuff because for me at least there's literally no motivation, but I feel like using a planner will help you balance like your social and like your education stuff.
So time management and knowing your priorities are big ones. It's definitely important to do well in school, but you also want to have fun in high school. Don't waste opportunities to like go to like events, I know, like football games, parties, whatever you do with your friends. I know like in COVID right now we can't do much, but I feel like it's still important to set time aside for yourself. For me, having a schedule of like the week ahead, or like I like writing lists of like tasks I have to do, and that helps me keep on track.
Yeah, I agree with what everyone said. I think you need to plan ahead, and but also you don't need to sacrifice your whole social life to do well in school. I think you should start doing stuff you like and dropping the stuff like the activities you don't like to free up some time.
So I feel like if you do a sport, then like a lot of your friends are on your sports team. So then you can hang out with them like at practice and you don't have to make time like separate of it to hang out with people. But my practice is like really far away. It's like an hour away. So I do my homework in the car and that helps because like I don't waste like an hour of my day or 2 hours of my day driving there and back. Um, but and I've tried using planners, but I realized that I just forget to use them. But so what I've done is like written them down like on a piece of paper, like not like an actual planner because I never use that, or in my phone, and that helps if you don't like planners.
Was there anything that you had to drop due to like other responsibilities or activities? Like,
I personally haven't had to drop anything because I feel like I didn't like go overboard when I was choosing extracurriculars in the beginning. So I really just chose the ones I was passionate about. I think I've been able to manage my time wisely enough and be able to be productive in doing everything that I really haven't dropped anything.
I think I dropped a couple of clubs that like freshman year that like all my friends were joining, so I was like, oh, I'll join it too or whatever. But like I ended up not being interested in it, and I just thought they weren't worth the time commitment anymore. So like I just no longer am a part of this club.
I feel like beginning of freshman year when we had like a freshman orientation and there was like all these clubs in our cafeteria and we could like sign up for like a bunch of clubs. I ended up dropping most of the clubs I signed up for because I felt like I wasn't interested in them or I didn't want to go into that field. And I feel like it's all about finding things that pique your interest, or finding things that you are interested in or will be or want to like put in the time and effort to be interested in. So I think it all depends on you, but yeah.
If I had to drop like any clubs in the past, it was usually due to like lack of interest or just didn't really care about it, or just felt like it was really harming my mental health or like just not something that was good for me. I just like focus on things that you actually like and then spend a lot of time doing those.
I had to drop orchestra, which was a co-curricular art, so it met during school, but it had activities outside of school, and I really liked it, but I never practiced violin, so there wasn't any point of me like staying in orchestra.
I think in freshman year I dropped a couple clubs that I wasn't interested in, but like that's it. It wasn't because they just didn't mean anything to me, and I only joined because like my friends were.
so did you find anything unique or tough about like the transition between grades in high school, or maybe like between middle school and high school? Was there anything that you kind of had to adapt to?
I think the biggest like unique transition was probably from middle school to high school because in high school it's well for us we have like 4 blocks instead of the normal like 8 classes that most schools usually have or something. So it was like a lot longer classes. You had to be able to focus your attention span better to like a 90-minute class compared to a 45-minute class. And so that was just like a really big difference.
Yeah, I think the transition from middle school to high school is really big because in middle school, like everyone has the same classes. But then in high school, when you choose classes, you can choose a lot harder classes. And if you do, then like obviously the workload's going to be a lot different. I also think that the transition from sophomore to junior year, it's like junior year definitely is like a really hard year. And also transition I didn't expect with junior year to senior year, like currently I feel like senior year is either the same as junior year or harder. So like everyone says like junior year is the hardest, but like senior year is definitely like really hard too, I think. Well, it depends on the classes you take, but
I think the transition from middle school to high school is significant because of the fact that the workload gets more and more. Um, I started taking a bunch of honors classes and AP Human Geography freshman year. So the work and like the homework, even though it's like optional in math and stuff like that, you still had to like, the homework was more and you had to dedicate more time to understanding the material rather than middle school was kind of a breeze compared to what I experienced in freshman year of high school.
For me, there wasn't a large difference because of how our school district is set up. But if anything, first trimester was definitely a new experience, but it was a fun one, especially since you get to meet a lot of new people and like do new things. I definitely just, if you feel like there's like a large change, just focus on like the good things and yeah.
Honestly, one big change is obviously there are more people in your high school than in your middle school, so you're probably going to see your friends less. And but the good thing is it'll be easier to drop like some toxic people and start making new friends.
I don't think there's been that much of a difference in between my years of high school, but between middle school and high school, that was a big difference because, like Casie and Amie said, in the Allenbrook School District, we have really long classes compared to middle school, so you really have to know how to pay attention and keep your focus in classes because it can be really hard to sit through a 90-minute class, especially during virtual because you have so many distractions at home. But another big thing was the homework amount, and in middle school, like we didn't have a lot of work, and our teachers mostly enforced that we did it, and so there's a lot less like I don't know how to the teachers don't push you to do your homework as much in high school. Like you really have to motivate yourself to do it, so that's a big difference.
Besides balancing time, what are some other skills that you found important for kind of your high school experience?
I think honestly just like prioritizing things, like certain things in your life are going to be more important than others, and even though like those things aren't going to be as fun to do, such as like studying for a big test or like hanging out with your friends, you have to be able to like prioritize which comes first to you in the long run, but also being able to make time for yourself.
Yeah, I agree. I think high school has taught me to really focus on making sure that like, what's really important needs to get done, and sometimes things that are less important that you still care about just can't get done because of the time you have.
I also agree with Casie and Amie. I think that prioritizing schoolwork definitely always goes first in my family. And then after that, it goes like studying for ACT, SAT, and stuff like that. And then after you finish all that, in my family, it's just you can hang out with friends, talk to them, and stuff like that. So I think that prioritizing things will ultimately help you in the future because you have decades and decades and decades to talk to your friends, but high school is like a very important stepping stone into like seeing what you really like to do and like seeing like figuring out which college you're going to get into and stuff like that. So I feel like high school and college in that matter always like will help you have a better future, I guess.
For me, I'd say setting goals for sure. I guess this goes hand in hand with time management, but being able to know what you want to work towards is super useful. Also, developing good study habits that work for you and then being consistent with them is important. I'd say finally, accountability. Lots of times teachers will say that homework is like optional or like they won't tell you to do it, but you really do have to do it if you want to do well. So it's important to be able to set your own schedules to complete it and decide what's worth it and what's not.
Another skill people learn in high school is communication. When you have a question to ask your teacher, or you're in a leadership position in a club and you're sending out emails to other people, I think it's really important to get those skills. And yeah.
Like Casie and Amie said, about prioritization, but not only like schoolwork against spending time with your friends, also like different classworks. Like if you have a project that's due in 2 weeks and a homework assignment that's due tomorrow, obviously you should do the homework assignment first. And then also knowing what helps you in the long run. Like I know a lot of my math teachers have like assigned assignments every single day, but made them all due like at the day of the test, like the end of the unit. But I think it'll help if you actually do the assignment the day that it's assigned, because that'll help you, because like in math, like things build on each other. So if you wait till the last day to do them all, you're not going to do as well as if you did each assignment the day it was given.
All right, so the next question will be very specific to your high school. So like what are some other activities, recreational or, educational, or even like out of school or like around the area, that you would recommend to younger grades or middle schoolers that are going into your school?
I'm not quite sure if there's anything that's like super specific to Brookfield Central alone, but I'd say I think Red Kettle Club is like a Brookfield Central thing for the most part, and I don't know if other schools have it, and I think it's just a nice club to get involved in. I don't know if there's anything else that I know of.
Yeah, I don't think my school has that many like unique things that other schools don't have, but I'd really encourage like younger people just to like try to get involved and put yourself out there and try new things even if your friends aren't doing them.
So for my school, I like recommend, like, if you're really into medicine or if you're really into business, go into like HOSA or DECA, because those will really help you take the career path that you want to take. I also like, our school also has like a STEM club and like GEMS, which is basically like GEMS is like girls in engineering, math, and science, and STEMS is students exploring medicine. So both of those clubs are very useful if you want to pursue like science, STEM stuff, as well as the fact that I still feel like public speaking clubs are very helpful, but I've said that like 3 times, so.
I go to Homestead. I recommend doing student council. Mrs. Pfaff and Mrs. Ackman are really awesome, and you get to meet a lot of new upperclassmen and do a lot of activities. I would say sports in general. If you're not really good at sports, I recommend cross country, golf, and lacrosse. Those are popular ones if you're not really athletic. Service clubs such as Interact and UNICEF are also really great options.
Yeah, same as Sophia, I recommend sports and student council because they help you meet new people. And when you're choosing a sport, you can find a bunch of no-cut ones at Homestead, like cross country, track, and swimming. And in the chat, I sent a link to a Google website which has a whole list of Homestead's clubs and academic teams.
I don't think there is really anything specific to my school. Are we just talking about clubs or like? Or
It can basically be anything like around the area, or just like basically anything that you think of that's interesting.
Well, I know for the Elmbrook and Wauwatosa school districts, we have a thing called Launch, which is a group of like there's like different strands. There's like medicine one, business ones, and stuff like that. And it's like a group of classes that you take along with a mentorship with like a trained professional in that field. And I'm gonna take one my senior year, and I think it's only for juniors and seniors, but I think it really will help like you advance in whatever field you wanted to go pursue in.
Right, so for the previous question, if anybody just like missed the school, I'm posting another link in chat, and this one will just bring you to a general overview where you can see like both their grade level as well as like their high school that they're attending. Right. So did you have any outside of school hobbies that you wish to share, like any additional ones besides extracurriculars and like schoolwork?
I don't think I had any like extra hobbies. I think most of my time was just preoccupied by like sports and then extracurriculars.
I think I one of my outside of school extracurriculars was running. I really like to run because I don't know, it keeps me fit. I do it like most days of the week.
Well, I was gonna volunteer at a hospital last year, but COVID, yeah, changed that. So I think if you can find outside like volunteer opportunities, you should definitely pursue that because it shows that you care for your community. Otherwise, I also haven't been doing anything outside of school other than like working, but that hasn't been present right now, and just school stuff.
So I do piano. I also enjoy photography. I'll just say, like, if you have any hobbies like outside of school, definitely don't forget about them if you really enjoy them. They're like really nice to have when school and like stuff is like getting like really hard.
I also play piano and I like working out. Yeah.
Well, a lot of my time goes to schoolwork, and I don't do any school sports. So, like, my one main hobby outside of like doing stuff for school is like this is synchronized skating, which is a sport I do, and then but yeah, so a lot of my time goes to that because we're really trying to improve our team because we were Team USA last year because of COVID. Nothing happened this year, so we're really trying to regain that spot next year. So that's where a lot of my time goes, other than for school.
All right, so that ends our kind of general section of high school questions. And the next one will be like miscellaneous job questions. So did you apply for a job? And if so, did you think it was generally worth it?
I worked a couple jobs and then I did a unpaid internship, like a marketing internship this summer. So that I don't know if that counts as technically a job, but I worked as a summer camp counselor for I think 2 years, and then I also worked a retail job. And I think they're beneficial because it really teaches you, I think, important skills such as communication and like leadership. And those are skills that like aren't as developed as much as you develop them like at school. And I think it's just a good opportunity to really develop those skills and also like meet new people and learn kind of the importance of money.
I've had 3 jobs throughout high school. So I was a summer camp counselor, I was a cashier, and I was also a computer operator for a family friend's business. I think working a job is really important because it really shows you what the real world is like, because you really get to interact with people that like you might not meet within like your little bubble of the school. And I think you just learn really important skills that school can't teach, and I think it's a really valuable experience. So I think if you have an opportunity, like you should definitely try to have a job at least once in high school.
Well, currently I have 2 jobs, but I've paused them because of COVID. So I used to work at I mean, like, I think I'm still employed. Um, I work at a pizza company and I work at Kumon. Um, I would honestly, jobs just for me they take up your time, but I think it's worth it if you earn money, like, cause then you you learn how to manage your money, and if you're like me, I suck at money management. Um, so I think the I mean it's also like important, like, I don't know, communications wise, like if you can't attend a job or like go to your shift or whatever, then you can communicate with your person. But I haven't had really good experiences with that, so I would just say money management is very important for the future. But otherwise, that's about it.
So I currently work at Kumon right now. I've been there for over a year, and I like how flexible the schedule is. Next trimester, I'll be training to be a CNA, so that'll be something new to look forward to. So if your school has like a youth apprenticeship program and you're like a sophomore, junior, definitely look into that. In general, I definitely recommend getting a job if you can. It's a great experience, and you get to meet new people, and also you get paid, so which is pretty nice.
I just finished an internship, and right now I'm trying to get a job at Kumon, and also I'm also trying to train to become a CNA.
So the summer before my sophomore year, I got a job at Culver's, and I don't think it takes up too much of my time because I only work 1 day a week. But I think it's definitely helped my people skills. So I know like retail jobs, which usually hire at 16, and food service that hires at 14, really help with your people skills and like knowing how to talk to other people, which is like really important later in life.
All right, so how do you like find your job? Like what places do you look for it? And are there any that you would like recommend for the future or for upcoming high schoolers that are interested in taking a job?
I think I like Indeed helps you find jobs and stuff, and I know I found my marketing internship through that because it was like online. And then my other jobs, I think it was just like you saw that they were hiring or something, and then like you just visited their website and then applied. So like it's pretty simple to if you like are looking for a job.
Yeah, I think if you want to find a job, it's definitely not hard. The summer camp counselor job that I had, like I found it because like went to that summer camp as a kid. For the cashier one, I literally just looked up like jobs in Brookfield or like for 16-year-olds. And like if you look up something like that, you'll definitely find websites that show you where's hiring and you can just apply.
Well, I found my restaurant job because I live literally a 10-minute walk away from it, so that was simple. And like Kumon was just something I've thought about since like 8th grade. I was gonna just do it because I'll just do it. Yeah, other than that, it's pretty easy to find jobs. You just gotta reach out and like ask if they're available to hire, and then just fill out a job application, and that's about it.
So the internet will be your biggest tool. Otherwise, I just ask friends if they know any jobs, or your like parents or whatever. Also, if you're having trouble, you can always ask your counselor. They're always willing to help out.
Yeah, I usually find a lot of jobs through the internet, or I ask my parents or other people too.
Well, I got my job because I had friends working there. So if you have friends or older siblings working somewhere, that'll really help. But then also, like, if you just look up on Google, like, jobs for teenagers, a lot of stuff will come up. And then I go to Kumon in Brookfield, so they offered me a job. So, like, I guess if you go to Kumon, eventually, sometimes they'll offer you a job, but it didn't really work with my schedule, so I don't work there. But yeah.
All right, so this is probably pretty rare for like high school jobs, but have you ever had like a job interview or like did you need like a recommendation letter and like the standard like cover letter stuff like that? Um, and like what questions did you kind of like think people should expect and like how was your experience there, if any?
I've actually had 3 job interviews, and they're honestly not as bad as you think they are. I think for 2 of them, I brought a resume, but then another one I just showed up. But I think a lot of the questions they ask is just like, why do you want this job, and like, how do you think you'll like work with the team there? And it's more just about like how your skills can fit in with like their current employees are like working with. So it's really just not as stressful as you think it is. It's just really just talking about like what you can bring to the table as an employee.
Yeah, for my job interviews, I usually brought a resume, which isn't really that hard to write, so like you shouldn't worry about it too much. You just look up on Google like resume. I definitely didn't need any rec letters for any of the jobs, so you don't really have to worry about that. The interviews, they usually ask pretty standard questions. There's like usually nothing out of the ordinary, so don't be scared that they're gonna like ask you some really weird question you're not gonna know how to answer. I'd say just like be yourself and like answer in ways that portray you as a good employee.
Well, I've only had one job interview, and it was at Kumon, and they basically asked if you were like smart and you could tutor kids and stuff. Like it was like it was in Bayshore, so um that was like they asked you like if your grades were good and stuff like that. I mean, I was going to bring in a resume, but I totally forgot, and they just hired me anyway. So I think job interviews, it's really not that stressful. Especially if you're like a high schooler, they'll be pretty lenient on it. And I feel like the most of the questions are basically asking if you can like how much time you can dedicate to this, and like how will you improve the team, like what aspects do you bring to the current like job team.
So I've only had one actual job interview, and the questions they usually ask are just like pertain to the job you're looking for to, and it's like what you can bring to the table and that kind of crap. Otherwise, usually just like you really don't want to worry about it. If you just show up and look presentable, most of the time you'll get the job, honestly.
I've never had any job interviews, but yeah.
I've had 2 job interviews. Both of them were like really low key. Like, they just asked a bunch of questions about the job, and I think I looked up the questions that they were gonna ask on Google, so it was like they were really easy to find. It was just like what do you bring to the table? What are your strengths and weaknesses? Why do you want the job? So they were really basic questions.
And then finally, I guess this is a general question. Did you use any resources like throughout the job search or like answering questions or anything related to jobs? Did you find any resources that you would recommend?
I guess like just Indeed.com has a lot of job offerings. I don't like. I feel like for the questions you could like look them up, but like I think in general, as long as you be yourself, you probably don't need any resources for that.
I think Indeed is good to help you find offerings. If you're worried about the pay, like Glassdoor is good too. And also just for like my resume and stuff, I just use Google, like just look up resume template, and I think Google is a really good resource when looking for jobs.
Well, for me, I just use my friends, and also the fact that I live near the restaurant, so it wasn't really hard to find find another job, because that job basically occupied like my schedule. For Kumon, my mom's somehow family friends with the owner of that Kumon's wife. And so that's how I found that job. I also think like just finding out jobs that your friends work at, because I did find a job that pays 13 an hour, which is like absurd here. And like I applied, but COVID and stuff like that. So I found that job off a friend. So I think just asking around is also a really good idea. Um, plus Google. Google is always helpful.
Amie and Casie and Helena basically covered it. There's not really one specific resource that's going to get you like the amazing job, but just use Google, use your friends, talk to people, and you should be fine.
Yeah, the internet is a really good source to find jobs. So, and also ask around, ask your friends and to see if they know any jobs anywhere. It's pretty easy.
I know as high schoolers, a lot of people just want jobs like just for the experience, or not necessarily like, for the state, because you won't get paid a lot as a teenager anyways. But I guess ask your friends like where they work if you wanted to work with them. Or yeah, Google is really good because a lot of places won't outright say they're hiring, so you kind of have to like Google and like look up their like whatever you wanted to work at. Like some, I know the covers that I worked at, they didn't say they were hiring until my friends told me they were working there, and I like looked up on Google. So yeah.
All right, so that concludes our jobs question section. And so now on to summer camps. So did you get into or attend a summer camp in previous years? And if so, where did you go? And did you recommend it?
Sorry. I attended Wisconsin Business World at UW-Madison the summer before my junior year, and that was just like an overnight business camp, and the school paid for it somehow, so like that was very nice, and I would recommend it because like it lets you be off on your own without your parents, and it's kind of like a preview to college, especially since mine was at Madison. I think it was just like a really good learning experience on how to like be able to be on your own. And then also I applied for the Kelly Young Woman Institute business, also a business camp, but it was in person, but obviously because of COVID it got pushed to virtual. And then I think that was also just very helpful because like it let me see more about like the business side of things from like a college view. So I think summer camps are helpful because they allowed me to delve more into the career path that I'm choosing.
I applied for one. I applied for a Wake Forest one because at the time I was really interested in that school and thought that would help with like the college admissions thing. I ended up not attending it because it was virtual and because of Corona, and I wasn't really interested in Wake Forest anymore. Um, so I haven't done that. But I think applying for summer camps is a good like preview to see kind of what the college application process may look like for you.
Well, I haven't taken many like summer camps that are like a very far away. I was at Wickedy, Wisconsin Center of Academically Talented Youth, Wickedy. I was there for beginning of like the summer before 8th grade and the summer before 9th grade. But other than that, I've just been like attending these small like UWM camps that focus on like just one subject, and it's like a week long. And I don't think that you need to go to like a really big deal camp. Um, if you can just stay local, then just stay local. I mean, obviously, the camps that are further away obviously cost more and stuff like that. But I haven't been to a lot of like camps per se. It's just been like day camps at like UWM that focus on math or writing or SAT, ACT prep, stuff like that.
So like Helena, I went to Wickedy for 2 years. I recommend, it's at Madison, and so it's not too far away, but it's like a lot of fun and you get to learn about a new subject. Summer after freshman year, I did a debate camp in Washington State for about 5 weeks. Even though I did quit debate, it was still like a really good experience, especially since you're away from home. You get to meet a lot of new people and do something that you actually like. I know like for Corona, it's like limited your options, but I definitely look into like being able to travel somewhere after all of this, but also like staying local, like Helena said, taking classes at your local colleges or universities is a good option. Asking around for internships or like certain programs would also be useful.
Summer after freshman year, I went to CTD, which was held at Northwestern, and I do recommend it. It's really fun, and you get to take classes you actually like, and I got to meet a bunch of new people, and I'm still friends with a lot of people I met there.
So I haven't done any summer camps because they're like really expensive sometimes, but I was gonna do one this past summer, but obviously and it wasn't really academic, it was more like just to get to know the college experience. Like you spent a week on a college campus, um, like with like a roommate and stuff, but it got canceled because of COVID, so yeah.
So what are some summer camps that, middle schoolers or high schoolers should be looking at for the future? So like free camps or paid camps, like really far reach, or maybe like local ones, like any ideas?
I just think like maybe career-based camps, so like you can discover if you want to go into that or not. Because I feel like if you're choosing between two different paths, or you haven't like consolidated your interests into one thing yet, this camp can really let you delve deep into it outside of the perspective of like just school or extracurricular. And then the camps that I went to were all paid for by someone else because my Madison business camp was sponsored by our school. So if you're part of DECA, I'm pretty sure your school will sponsor a couple people to go. And then Indiana Kelly is funded by Indiana University. So I would, if you're interested in business, I would definitely check that one out. It's for like girls in the Young Women's Institute, and it's all paid for by Indiana, so you don't have to pay to attend that camp.
I think if you're looking into camps, I think it would be best to do like application camps, like camps that like you have to apply to get in. Cause I've definitely heard that like it really helps with the college application process. When they know that like the camp was application only, so they know that like you were good enough to attend the camp. So I think it really helps if you're looking to do camps.
Well, I don't have that much knowledge on camps, to be honest. I would say that Wikidee is like, especially if you're doing ALP Wikidee, which is like the high school version, and then there's also a middle school version and like a day camp version or whatever. If you're doing like ALP Wikidee, I think that was like slightly better than the middle school version because of the fact that it focuses more on the topic and you have more hours to explore your like the topic that you signed up for, and it's also really fun, but there's also like a cost to it, and it's like not sponsored by anyone that I know of. So it costs like around 3,000 something for 3 weeks. um I don't really know about any like free camps because I haven't attended any, so yeah.
Like Casie and Amie said, I think just look into camps that are you to apply to and that like only a certain percentage of people have to get into. So those are like more like prestigious ones, I guess. And also look into like staying local and just seeing what you can do with like the resources around you. I know colleges like that, like if you can ask like local professors or colleges, they're interested in like a research assistant position or internship, something like that. But yeah.
Yeah, I think middle schoolers should also look out for STEP and Wikidee too, and you can also find some free classes online too.
In addition to academic camps, I guess if you go to one like for a sport, then I don't know, you might go because the one I was supposed to go to was for a sport. But I don't know, to my knowledge, they're a little bit cheaper. And if you do go to one that's like on a college campus, you can like experience like the college experience without like having to pay as much. And I guess you'll be better knowledgeable on like whether you want to go to a certain school or not.
All right, so that wraps up our summer camps section for questions, and then we just have a couple of other ones, and then we'll head over to open Q&A. So what other notable experiences do you guys have that don't really fit into any of like the categories, like summer camps or high school or jobs?
From what I can think of right now, I don't have anything. I think a lot of my experience have just been pertaining to those areas.
Yeah, same. I don't really have any notable experiences outside of school. I don't know. I think school has definitely given me a lot of fun experiences within sports and clubs. So, yeah.
Well, I don't know if this is like a included into like a sports thing, but a school thing, not a sports thing. But our school made it to state championships for football, so that I attended that, and it was pretty fun. It was a way to like cheer on your school and show like school spirit and stuff like that. I thought that was really fun, but obviously, not all schools get to experience that. So I would say like outside of school, maybe attend some games, show school spirit. I don't know, that sounds really cheesy, but you know.
I wouldn't say I have any particular notable experiences, but definitely take advantage of opportunities that come up, or like just, have fun.
Yeah, outside of jobs, sports, and extracurriculars, I guess I could count YLA as one. It kind of helps me get to know other people.
I know like a lot of people focus like especially Chinese people, like we focus so hard on like getting good grades that like and like you only go to high school once. So like Helena, my school did last year, our football team did go to state. So I went to the game and it was really fun. And I know my freshman year I went to a bunch of the football games, but I mean they weren't as fun as like the one at state. So I guess you have to take advantage of some opportunities that like don't come up as often. Like you don't, your school doesn't go to state every single year, so that was like I guess if something like that comes up, you don't want to miss it. So
Right, and then this last one is kind of more geared towards um, the two seniors we have here, but have you applied for any scholarships, like any merit scholarships, and like which ones do you recommend around Wisconsin, or like ones that are coming up in deadline for seniors this year, or ones that like juniors should be looking out for next year?
To be honest, I've been like super busy because of varsity tennis and the amount of time that took up, and then school itself, and then juggling all that stuff with like having to manage a virtual school. So I've mostly only filled out college applications because I filled out maybe like 10 already. So I haven't really been looking into scholarships yet, and I'm probably planning on doing that once I submit everything and like write all the essays.
Yeah, I haven't separately applied to any merit scholarships because I just don't really have time. I'm applying to like probably 18 schools, so I don't really have the type of time to do that. I would definitely look into Herb Cole if you are I'm not applying to as many schools and have the time. The Herb Cole scholarship has probably like 10 essays, so that's kind of one of the reasons why I didn't want to apply for that. A lot of the schools that I've applied to and have already got it accepted into have given me really big merit scholarships without even having to apply for them. So if you're looking for like good scholarships from schools without having to apply, like definitely look into schools like Marquette and like SLU and like smaller private schools. They'll definitely give out a lot of more merit aid that you don't even have to apply for, because getting big merit scholarships is definitely hard. Like Herb Cole, like not that many people get the Herb Cole scholarship, and it's definitely a lot of work to apply. So if you don't want to work that hard on writing the actual essays for scholarships, definitely look into like smaller Jesuit private schools.
So I don't know a lot about scholarships, but our school did send out like an announcement with like this Calvin Coolidge scholarship, and it's a full ride scholarship. And even if you don't think you're gonna get in, I think it's best to try. Like just try and go for scholarships. You never know what's gonna happen. That's basically all. Like if you have the time to do scholarships, definitely do them, because you don't know how much like you're missing out if you don't do it. But I would say that even if you think you can't get in, or like maybe 99% sure you're probably not gonna get the scholarship, you should at least try. Because yeah.
I'm going to disagree with Helena there. I don't think it's smart to waste time on like scholarships that you don't think you're gonna get. I think you can spend your time in doing other things. But if you do have the opportunity and it's like not that bad and you have time, I mean, why not take it? I don't have much experience, but if you are curious about like scholarships, your school counselors will definitely know a lot. You can just search them up online too.
I haven't applied for any scholarships, but my counselor told me about a website called Raise Me. It's on our Naviance profile, which is available to all Homestead students, I think. And basically you can set up a profile and get micro scholarships.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about scholarships either because I haven't done any, but I do know that there are some that are available to like all high school students, or some that are for juniors and seniors, so you don't have to be a senior to apply to them. But yeah, I really don't know a lot. But I guess if you have time, like I guess a little bit of money from each scholarship, like that adds up because college is expensive.
All right, and that's it for all of our questions. So now it's open up for Q&A. So if anybody has any questions in the meeting, just type your question in the chat and then we'll just go through. And if any of you guys like really want to answer a question in the chat, then you guys can just like unmute yourselves and then just answer it. Okay, so one of the questions was things not to do in high school. Anybody wants to answer that?
I would say procrastination. Sorry.
I would say like don't miss out on the high school experience for sure. I know like there's people who are like, "Oh, I'll do everything senior year. Like I'm going to study really hard all 3 years and I'm going to do stuff senior year." And for people in my grade who decide to do that, like obviously like you can't do that anymore. So like take advantage of like the high school experience cuz you're never going to get it again. Like go to the football games, go to like the school dances, go to like the pep rallies. Like, really just try to participate in the high school experience because you're really never going to get it again. And I think it's a really valuable experience to have. Yeah,
I
I'll
completely.
go.
You can go, Amy.
Okay. Yeah, I would just say don't be too like obviously school is definitely very important. But yeah, like you don't want to become your whole life is school. And I would say don't get too overwhelmed by all the things you have to do as well. Because like if you don't like consolidate the things down to just the things you're interested in, I think it's really easy to get burnt out and then you just really can't cater to the needs of your schoolwork and also your social life. So like, really try to make sure you're just doing the things like you're passionate about and you're not just doing things like for college to see because I'm pretty sure like they'll know that you're only doing it for college, and then just try to balance time the best and don't miss out on like the things that are actually fun in your life too.
I was basically going to agree with Casie and Amy. Yeah, don't miss out on the high school experience. Have fun. But also, like, going off like extracurriculars and stuff, don't do the ones that just your friends are going to do or your parents are forcing you to do. Just do ones that actually are that you are interested in and that you're going to like.
Yeah, I agree with everyone, and I think this also applies to like the rest of your life. Don't hang out with people who make you like feel bad or something. Just start hanging out with people who actually bring you up, and don't hang out with people who always like insult you. And
Um,
Oh,
sorry.
it's okay. Wait, do you want to go?
Oh, you can go first.
Okay, well, yeah, like Becky said, find like a good group of people to hang out with. And then like if you are going like shoot. So for like the high school experiences, like find that group of people and like go to the experiences with them because like if you're not around with people that you like, those high school is not gonna be fun. And then also, for like more academically, if your friends are always asking you for help, don't think like, oh, they just want me for my knowledge. Like, if because like when you're like, teaching someone, you're learning yourself and you're furthering your own understanding. So that's really important.
I think procrastination. Do not procrastinate. I feel like that's a really big thing for me because I like always procrastinate and it's not a good thing. So I feel like make sure you do your assignments the day that they're assigned. Unless they're like a project, then you can like space it out. Um Also like for the friends things, like expand your horizons, talk to different people. You never know who you're going to meet in high school. I obviously haven't met a lot of new people, but I'm me and I don't really make that many friends. So so I would say talk to new people, find out what you're interested in, and maybe you can find some lasting friends in high school that you haven't found in middle school.
So then the next couple ones, are there any good tools to help you organize? And what major or career choices do you guys want to go for or are interested in? And like how? I guess.
For good tools to help organize activities, like the most obvious is just like a planner, like, and then if you don't like using a paper planner, Google Calendars is really nice too because like that can sync all your activities and stuff, so you can see it on your computer and your phone. And I think it's just like an organization like system that works for you. Like the stuff that works for me doesn't work for everyone else. So as long as you find a way to be able to manage all your activities and make sure everything gets done, I think that would be the most successful. And then I knew what major and career choice I wanted to go after I joined DECA and I took like AP stats. I was very interested in like the math, like applied math into like a real world scenario. So I think it was just like a combination of extracurriculars and classes allowed me to discover what I truly wanted to do. And obviously I had other passions as well. But after taking certain classes, because I was thinking about maybe going to a medical track, after taking like AP Chem and AP Bio, I realized that I don't want to do that for 8 years of my life. So then I decided obviously I'm not gonna go down that road.
Yeah, I think a planner is a good way to organize stuff. And honestly, like tell your parents about the stuff that you're doing and they can remember for you and tell you. Um, I think I'm gonna major in like finance or econ, and I think I like has helped me make that choice. And also the classes I took, like I really liked like personal finance and like AP micro and AP macro. So I think that's the career choice slash major I'm gonna do in college.
I think for Zoe's question, I think yeah, a planner always works. Also, like I set reminders on my phone and like have them repeat every single day. And so I get these annoying like notification sounds and then I realize I have to do it, otherwise, it's gonna be annoying. Um so for me, I've always wanted to go into the medical path, and like it solidified even more when I took chemistry. Um and like it's just the fact that like I like STEM, so like if you don't like STEM, don't go into like a STEM field. Like for example, I took AP Econ Micro, and I absolutely despise the class. Um, and like that's what made me realize that maybe I shouldn't be like going into economics and stuff like that. So it's basically what you find interest in, and everyone has their own interests. So yeah.
For Zoe's question, I'm definitely some sort of like system where you can like plan out all your tasks. I personally don't like planners, but I do like lists and like setting reminders. I feel like that's really helpful. As long as you have some sort of system that works for you, then it should be fine. As for like what I want to go into like after high school, I think I want to go into pre-med or environmental science and engineering. I'm not quite sure. But in general, just like for parents, for any parents out there, I feel like don't pressure your kids to like know what they want to do like in high school or like early into. I know like a lot of people don't know what they want to do even like late into junior year or senior year. I think it's just mostly it's mostly important just to take a variety of classes to see what you're interested in and just ask around for like advice.
For me, some tools that help me organize are a planner, and I think it works for me. And for major career choices, right now I'm thinking about pre-med and the medical field in general, but I'm not really sure. But I also agree with Sophia that parents shouldn't push kids into STEM or anything that they want to do that the kid doesn't.
Um, so I love the reminders app on my phone. And then so for how Casey answered the question, I agree that you should tell your parents like what you're doing so they know. But I wouldn't depend on your parents to like remember things for you because your parents are not always gonna be there to like remind you like, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that, oh, you have this tomorrow. So I usually don't depend on my parents for that. Um, and then for the second question, I have taken career tests and like I'm pretty sure like in middle school like your teachers like make you take them anyways. But then I've also taken some like in addition to that. Um, but for me, I feel like I've always kind of wanted to be go into STEM until this year. So I guess it's like okay if you don't know what you want to do yet. Um, So I took my school offers APS history and AP government together, like as a 1 year class instead of two separate semester long classes. So when I took that, I realized that I really liked like law. So I kind of want to go into law, but I still really am not completely sure. So it's okay if you don't know yet.
All right. Are there any more questions, or if not, we'll just wrap up the meeting. But I'll just wait like maybe 15, 30 seconds. All right, well, I guess I'll wrap up the meeting then. So thank everybody for coming and listening to this. This will later be posted to YouTube, so if you want to rewatch certain portions or if you joined a bit late, you can always go back and watch it. And of course, thanks to all the 6 interviewees for answering these questions and taking their time out of the day to participate in this seminar. Yeah. All right. Okay. And